Good morning, everyone. I'm Tertia from DocFox. Now, as South Africans, we've taken quite a few punches over the last few years. State capture, load shedding, water shedding. Have you guys had water shedding yet? Like, you want load shedding back. Downgrading by the rating agencies. I mean, just crazy. Downgrading by the rating agencies. And just when we thought, like, they've done to us what they can, we got grey-listed. And as a South African, you're often thinking, I wish there was something I could do about this. And I want to tell you, if you're sitting in the room today, you can. Now, when Ryan started DocFox, he had this vision, this mission to make money laundering impossible. And if you've ever met a Foxy, and there's a few Foxies around, you'll notice that we're pretty passionate about FICA. And a lot of people go, it's FICA, like, calm down. I don't know why you're so excited about it. And the reason for that is it's more than just compliance. Being FICA compliant means making it difficult for the criminals to do business. And that means making South Africa safer. And right now, it's about getting us off the grey list. So that's why we're pretty passionate about FICA, because it's more than just compliance. Now, the legal fraternity has been identified as being especially vulnerable to being used by criminals for money laundering. That's a fact. Yet of the 16,000 law firms registered with the FICA in South Africa, only 60% of them submitted their risk and compliance return. And almost 80% of law firms are not fully compliant with the FICA Act, still just collect documents. Now, I said earlier, FICA is about making a difference. So we ask law firms, like, why don't you want a FICA? Why? Tell us why. And the first reason we get is, I don't need to FICA, I know my clients. I see a lot of smiles here. I know my clients. I've done business with them for years. So I thought as a practical exercise, let's look at some clients. So we've got 3 people on the board there. I mean, the first guy, Vlad, face tattoos. Let's just be honest, we're going to FICA the hell out of that guy. If he submits a document late, we're like, oh, we can't do business, we need that document, it's legislation, it's law. And then we've got Sally Ann Francis. Now, Sally Ann is a mother of 2. She's just become a grandmother. Originally from the UK, she's lived in Cape Town for about 20 years. And then we've got Matt Dunn, who went to school with 2 of my colleagues. Oh, sorry, I must not do that. 2 of my colleagues and our friend over there. And yes, Matt is just the nicest guy. I mean, look at him. It's the guy that brides for you on a Saturday evening, played rugby with Carl, went to school with Obi. In fact, his father-in-law has been a client of yours for years. And he's just had a child as well. And I mean, Matt's always forgetting, oh, I'm so sorry, I haven't had a chance to send that to you yet. And I'm so sorry, my wallet got stolen, and I don't have my ID, and I've gone to Home Affairs, and, there's always a reason. He's always late. And let's be honest, if it's Matt or Sally, we're going to go, it's okay. I mean, his father-in-law's been doing business. I'm sure it's okay. We'll just do the basics. We've got, we'll continue with the transaction. So let's look at reality. Vlad, the name, is someone that I did work with years ago. So the picture was off the internet, but we would have FICA'd the hell out of him anyway. Sally Ann Francis, who looks lovely and speaks with a British accent, passed away about 3 years ago. But at the time, she was the most wanted female terrorist in the world. She married one of the ISIS leaders, and she's known for recruiting ISIS members in South Africa. Who else got goosebumps? Because I just got goosebumps telling you that story. So, Sally Ann Francis. Then we look at Matt, who we thought was really a nice guy. Matt, I've just spoken to Carl this morning, apparently is currently in the Ukraine. He was on carte blanche. He was arrested for fraud for over 40 million rand. And he skipped the country to avoid jail time. Now, that's what FICA is about. So the FIC has this approach. If you know your clients, cool. Just go through the process, do the checks, and prove to us that you do actually know your clients. They say that criminals especially target small law firms, because that's the other answer we get. We're a small law firm. No one, we know our clients. They target small law firms specifically, because they know it's low-hanging fruit. What's the other question we get? The other answer. Our manual system works just fine. We collect an ID, we collect proof of residence. Spoke to someone this morning. I can't see you right now. He says, no, we get them to fill in a form. Who gets clients to fill in a form to say, are you politically exposed? Yeah. Has anyone ever said yes? Never. Yes, I am the nephew of our Minister of Health. And yes, this 20 million rand was gotten through a PE contract that I got, because I was politically exposed. So the question I want to ask you about your manual system is it enough? So no one's ever said yes. Since when do we trust criminals to tell us the truth? But yet, please fill in this form and tell us where your source of funds are, source of wealth. The other thing is not everyone who's up to no good is sanctioned. So Sally Ann Francis, geez, guys, you should see her name light up in DocFox. She is on so many watch lists worldwide, for good reason. But Matt Dunn, he hasn't bombed a country. He's not a terrorist. He's a bad guy. But he's not on a sanction list. And that's where, so there's this FICA requirement, not requirement, suggestion that you do a media search. And as South Africans, if they say it's a suggestion, we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Someone's like, no, we're not going to do it. And they say, do a media search. Now, if you do a media search, you just run Matt Dunn through DocFox, he lights up like a Christmas tree. In fact, Google him just for fun when you get home, or now, and he was on carte blanche. You can just imagine the YouTube videos, and was it Desi or Demi that goes up to him and says, so, Mr. Dunn, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. So that's the videos that you get online. And it's about doing those checks. So I mentioned to you that 2 of my colleagues went to school with Matt Dunn. Now, Sean says, Tertia, I worked with Matt Dunn. Okay, I worked with Matt Dunn. He says he sold Lost City weeks to the employees. Apparently he had a contact, and you could buy a Lost City week from Matt for cheap, and he had a calendar, a spreadsheet, and you could buy that week, like 1st of September to the 7th of September, and you'd log your name in, and you'd pay him the money. And Sean says, Tertia, one day Matt just didn't arrive at work. Now, you're all aware of Directive 8. You have to start screening your employees. Now, can you imagine that company that Sean worked for, if they had done the same checks, if they had complied with Directive 8, they could have saved their employees a lot of money. Our last reason we get is, yes, this FICA thing takes too much time. So much time. Clients don't want to give us their documents. It just takes too much time. And the reality is, if you're running a manual system, it does take a lot of time. I spoke earlier about the risk and compliance return. So I've just heard, apparently it's not official yet, but just emotionally prepare you for what's coming. The risk and compliance return is going to be an annual requirement. So if any of you spent days and nights, because that's everyone who's done it manually has told me, days and nights, compiling that data, insert word here, that data to complete the risk and compliance return, it's going to be an annual requirement. So best you get your filing in order if you're doing it manually, because it's a mission. And that's really where technology comes in. It's there to save you time. It's there to do the heavy lifting for you. If we look at one of the things that clients often tell us when they're still running a manual system, or if they're just using a system for data checks, is control. So a partner came to me the other day and he said, my biggest challenge is we've got documented processes, this is what you're required to do, but I don't know if every single one of my team members does this every single time. And I want a system so I can sleep nice at night. That was his words. So it really gives you control, does the heavy lifting for you, but let's be honest, does a better job than us. And it creates a better customer experience. I find it so funny. So we've been doing a few of these legal techs, and every hotel that I've stayed at has asked me for my ID. And I did not say, no, I'm not. Why are you asking? Do you know who I am? People just hand over ID, hand over proof of residence. What do so many clients tell you? Oh, no. Do you know who I am? Why should I give you this information? Anyway, I just find it fascinating. Just sharing. So the reality is in our world is, as the criminals are getting smarter, we have to get smarter. So I was chatting to someone at one of the legal tech events, and she said, Tertia, here was this client. He had a certified copy of an ID, certified by an attorney firm. She said, and he had an original. And all their spidey sensors said, like, this guy's just giving them, like, they're not so sure. But she said he had a certified ID. And they found out later it was a very good fake. And that's the reality. Like, they're getting better at this. So we have to get smarter at this. So I thought, since it's a tech conference, I won't just talk about compliance, but I'll talk about some of the new tech we are rolling out to make checking better, more accurate, but also a better customer experience. And it's called biometric testing. And I don't know how many of you've all done this on your bank, Discovery or whatever bank sends you a link in your app, you move your face around, takes a selfie, which is a horrible selfie always. Always. Can I retake that one? That was horrible. Please don't keep that on your system. So we've now brought that technology to make it available for law firms. So if you think about it now, you send a client a link, they can either do it from their laptop camera or they can send it to their phone, opens it up, they hold it, and the first thing it does, it checks if the person's alive. So it's not someone holding up a photo. It's not someone, they actually even check if you're under duress when you do this, if someone's holding a gun to your head. So it checks aliveness, takes a selfie, and then what it does, it matches it with the photo at Home Affairs. And if Home Affairs is online, baby, this is very important, very important, it's an instant check. If Home Affairs is not online, it will check when Home Affairs eventually comes online. But immediately does a check and does a photo match. And what's so incredible with the technology is how incredibly accurate it is. So we've got a product manager at the office called Jackie, and she's an identical twin. And guys, they look identical. And the system, every single time, this is not the right ID. When it's the right person, right twin matching the ID, it matches it. So I thought I'd be very brave this morning and show you what it looks like. So think about it. You're going to send the client the link. They're going to do the face thing. And this is the report you're going to get out of the system. So very brave. This is the selfie that I took. Obviously, I took it. It wasn't the system one because that would have been much uglier. And that's my ID photo. And I mean, how many IDs do we look at from people who have their ID photo from when they were 16? even my team, when I sent them when we mocked this up and we did the ID photo, they said, Tertia, that doesn't look like you at all. And that's part of the cool part about the technology. It's like, as humans, we can only check that much. But from a technology perspective, it checks incredibly accurate. I mean, you can imagine how many ID photos have you looked at and someone still has hair? I know Ryan, when you look at his photos, bushy curly hair, I'm like, Ryan, when did that happen? Because I've never seen you with that much hair. So anyway, so it's a great customer experience. They take the photo. It also asks them to hold up their ID, so it takes a photo immediately. So you don't actually have to collect it. And the check is incredibly accurate. And that's where the technology is going. It's getting smarter. It's getting to create a better customer experience. And it still allows you to do the right thing. So I started today by saying if you're sitting here, you can make a difference. And if you are keen on making a difference when it comes to FICA, we recommend you partner with a company that's quite passionate about FICA as well.